If you're over 50 and thinking about starting an online business, you're probably asking the same questions I did. Am I too late? Do I even understand this digital stuff? Can I actually make money online? Or is that just something younger people do? I've been asking myself those same questions for the past couple of years. And I'll be honest, it's been a mix of excitement, fear, confusion, and a lot of late nights just trying to figure it all out. This video isn't a tutorial. I'm not here to tell you how to do it. I'm just going to share what it's been like for me, what I've learned, what's been hard, what's been humbling, and why. Even though I haven't made it yet, I'm more convinced than ever that this is the right path for me. My hope is that by hearing the story, you'll save yourself months of trial and error and walk away knowing whether building an online business at 50 is really worth it. For most of my adult life, I worked in the corporate world. Steady paycheck, predictable schedule. The same meetings, same patterns, same cycle. And one day I just started feeling this itch, like there had to be something more than working hard for someone else's dream. You know that quiet question that starts showing up in your 40s and 50s? Is this really how I want to spend the next 10 or 15 years of my life? At first, I ignored it because honestly, walking away from something stable, especially at this age, feels insane. You got bills, maybe a mortgage, maybe a kid still finishing college. And there's that fear, what if this fails? But that question wouldn't go away. So I started reading, watching videos, taking notes, trying to understand how people actually make money online. Affiliate marketing, YouTube, online courses, consulting. There are so many options, and that's both exciting and overwhelming. Eventually, I had made a decision. I told myself I can either keep wondering what if, or I can actually try. That moment didn't feel like a movie scene. There was no big music, no speech. It was just me sitting at my desk thinking, I guess we're doing this. But I'll be honest, that moment also came with a lot of doubt. It wasn't like I quit everything the next day. There was a transition period. I had to unlearn stability and learn how to be uncomfortable again. And I think that's something no one tells you. You don't just decide to start an online business. You decide to become someone new in the process. The biggest battle hasn't been technology or the tools. It's been in my head. When you spent decades working a certain way, you start to believe that's the only way to success happens. You show up, do your job, get your paycheck, repeat. But online business doesn't work like that. There's no guarantee, no structure. You have to create everything from scratch. And that's both freeing and terrifying. I had to unlearn this idea that being 50 meant I was behind. The truth is, the mindset I brought from my career actually helps me. Discipline, work ethic, patience, those things matter online just as much as they do in the office. But there's also humility, because suddenly I'm the student again. And I'll be honest, that part stings sometimes. Watching younger creators talk about funnels, and they make it sound like breathing. Meanwhile, I'm Googling how to set up a YouTube thumbnail. But here's what's been freeing about that. I stopped comparing and started learning at my own pace. And that shift changed everything. Because comparison kills momentum. You'll never take action if you're too busy measuring yourself against people who started 10 years before you. So now I focus on progress instead of perfection. And honestly, that mindset is what's keeping me in the game. So here's what the process has actually looked like for me. I started with YouTube because I knew if I just get comfortable talking to the camera, that would help me communicate better no matter what kind of online business I end up building. And wow, it's been a journey so far. Learning how to script videos, learning editing software, learning how lighting affects your mood and message. At first, every video took me forever, and I still don't have it all figured out. I'm still experimenting with topics, still trying to figure out what resonates with people, still getting used to seeing myself on camera. But every time I hit publish, I remind myself that progress doesn't come from thinking, it comes from doing. Then there's the tech side: emails, websites, analytics. That part used to completely intimidate me. Now I just take it one thing at a time. And if I don't know something, I Google it. If I get stuck, I ask for help. And that's another big shift: being okay with asking for help. They used to make me feel like I was behind, but now I see it as part of the process. I also started investing in my learning: courses, books, mentors. Even when it felt like, should I really be spending money when I'm not making any money yet? But I've learned that investing in yourself is never a waste, as long as you apply it. Sometimes I'll rewatch lessons or reread chapters and something new clicks that I missed. It's slow growth, but it's real growth. This part is real. Starting an online business at 50 means you're doing it with real responsibilities. You can't just say, I'll figure it out later. There are bills, there's family, there's security. So yes, it's a risk. And there are days I wonder if I made the right choice. Days I think about going back to something more predictable. Because it's hard not seeing results right away. You put in hours, and sometimes there's just silence. But here's what keeps me going: I'm building something that's mine. Even if it takes time, there's ownership in it. And that feels different from a paycheck. I've also learned to think differently about money. When you're younger, you trade time for dollars. But in this session, in this season, it's about building assets that work for you over time. That's what YouTube is for me: a foundation. Each video is a brick. Each lesson is a layer. And one day, it'll become something that pays back the effort. So yeah, this phase is financially uncomfortable, but it's also the most alive I've felt in years. Because I've been betting on myself. This journey has also forced me to face myself, my habits, my focus, my excuses. I've read a lot of books to help me with that. Books on mindset, productivity, and habits. Because I realize success online isn't about the business. It's about who you are becoming in the process. I had to start managing my time differently, balancing work, family, and learning something new. There were weeks when I lost motivation, where I questioned everything. There were mornings where I'd sit down at my desk, open up my laptop, and feel completely stuck. Like, where do I even begin today? Every time I published another video or finished a course, I built a little more confidence. And that's how progress actually looks. Not in big jumps, but in small steps that add up when you don't quit. I also started tracking my habits, not to be perfect, but to stay aware. When you're your own boss, no one's checking in on you. So discipline has to come from within. So, am I successful yet? No. Not by most people's definition. I haven't made money from my online business yet. But what I have built is belief. Belief that this is possible. Belief that there are people out there like me who want to see someone in the middle of the journey, not just highlight reels at the end. And that's why I'm documenting it. Because there's value in showing the process, not just the results. If you're in your 50s and thinking about doing this too, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be real. Show people what it's like to learn again, to start over, to bet on yourself. And even though I'm still figuring it out, I've never been more sure that I'm right where I'm supposed to be. So how do you start an online business at 50? You start by believing you can. You start by learning one thing at a time. You start by showing up, even when it's uncomfortable. I'm not at the finish line. I'm somewhere in the middle, but that's okay. Because the goal isn't to just make money, it's to grow, to build something you're proud of. So if you're thinking about starting something of your own, do it scared, do it unsure, do it anyway. Because it's not too late, it's just the beginning.